Elation tonight from Richard Tuite's family after a jury finds him not guilty in the murder of Stephanie Crowe. Good evening, I'm Dominic Garcia in for Carla Chiquetto.
And I'm Barbara Lee Edwards. Richard Tuite was acquitted today 9 years after being convicted of voluntary manslaughter in the death of 12-year-old Stephanie Crowe. A retrial was ordered in 2011 after a federal appeals court judge ruled that Tuite didn't get a fair trial. CBS News 8's Angie Lee joins us now with more on today's verdict. Angie?
And Dominic and Barbara Lee, after just over a day of deliberations, the jury found Richard Tuite not guilty of voluntary manslaughter in the brutal stabbing of Stephanie Crowe. The courtroom was filled with sobs as the verdict was read from both sides of the family. Tuite showed very little emotions in the courtroom.
I prayed to God. I asked God to give me the strength that I would need to go through this again.
For Carrie LaCone, her brother's acquittal is answered prayer.
I am ecstatic today. This has restored my faith in our system and in God more than you guys will ever know.
The 44-year-old transient smiled briefly while the verdict was read.
We, the jury, in the above entitled cause, find the defendant, Richard Raymond Tuite, not guilty of the crime.
It was the second time that Richard Tuite had been tried for the 1998 murder of 12-year-old Stephanie Crowe. Tuite was convicted of voluntary manslaughter in 2004, but a federal appeals court in 2011 ruled that the mentally ill transient didn't get a fair trial.
I think the evidence is pretty straightforward. I think the jury understood that evidence, and there were really only two options.
Defense attorney Brad Patton says possible contamination of evidence helped raise a reasonable doubt with jurors.
Mr. Tuite did not go into that house. There was no forensic evidence of him being in that house.
Tuite, who is about to be a free man, must, according to his attorney, stay on his medication.
He was very emotional as it related to this verdict, and he's very excited to get back with his family.
Stephanie Crowe's younger sister, Shannon, was in court today but did not speak to the media. As for Tuite's sister, Carrie, she personally thanked many of the jurors.
I told them thank you. Thank you. Justice has finally prevailed.
Yes, Stephanie Crowe's sister, who was in court today, did not make any comments, but she did text back and forth with her family. Neither did the Attorney General's office. They didn't want to make any comment on the case either. Richard's sister, in the meantime, says her brother, once he is released, will likely live with his mother and stepfather.